Before beginning shooting our film, I tried expanding my knowledge in thriller movies, especially if they were psychological thrillers, by watching a couple of popular films that seemed to fit in the same category as what we hoped our own film would fit. And so I noted a couple of things that reoccurred in the films. Our film revolves around a young girl who seemed to be affected with a mental illness, though we didn't want to make it too obvious at the beginning, because when we planned out the film as a whole, we wanted the climax of the film to be when her mental illness is understood. The beginning gives a clue to the audience in what to expect, which is a very popular way that thrillers present their climaxes in their films. This makes it very exciting for the audience when figuring out the final clue. Opening scenes are very important because it makes the viewer make up their mind about whether the film is going to be interesting enough for them to spend their time watching. It gives them an idea of how the film is going to go along. The nightmare scene is a classical cliché in thriller horror movies. It helps startle the viewer, making it more interesting for them to continue watching because of the panic that they received. This allows the audience and the character to have a mutual feeling because of the panic that arises from the screen and within the audience, making them understand the character's emotions. This links to the actor's performance, which affects how the audience will respond through facial expression and body language. The character's hand clenches in the shot, giving the feeling of being uncomfortable and trying to know they're no longer dreaming. The look in her eyes give a scared look, as if their nightmare is far too bad, but could also happen in real life. This scene gives off a cliché thriller mystery sense off of it, creating a sudden feeling of suspense to take over the screen. The opening starts with an establishing shot of the area the opening is taking place, outside and inside the main character's home. The opening starts there to give the isolated vibe and gloomy atmosphere that the character is in. In a way, this shows the state that she's in, which is similar to pathetic fallacy in literature, where nature represents the character's feelings. Alongside the outside shots, we decided to add some shots from the inside of the house, but focusing more on colors that are being reflected or is illuminating light. The film as a whole is linked to the representation of mental illness, which is subtly shown through the opening scene, as you could see when the girl takes a couple of pills to calm herself down, as far as the audience is aware. But the truth is, the pills help her mental illness, which had been affected by a recent event that is faintly pointed out in the opening scene, with missing posters of a girl whose photos are scattered in the main character's room, but is a major point in the plot of the story as a whole, as it turns out she's the one who killed her.